Hey everybody, welcome to Two Comic Book Dudes. I'm Aaron, editor-in-chief of Comic Booked,
Hey everybody, Justin, managing editor over at Comic Book.
and joining us up above is Brian Buccellato this week, talking about a brand new book that's coming out in October, and that book is called
Cannibal.
Cannibal. Very tasty. I'll tell you, when I finished reading it, I definitely was hungry for more.
Well played, sir. Well played.
So we got a little sneak preview of the first few issues, and it is just a great story. I know we've been following, well, at least I have, Sons of the Devil and Injustice, and some of the other things that you're writing, which I love. This is such a good story because it's not like, I don't know, it's not like a Walking Dead kind of story necessarily, where it's all focused on the cannibal aspect. That's not the focus really. That's like almost like a subplot. I felt like you've got all these other relationships going on, which is cool, but then running through all of that is the thread of, hey, there's people eating people.
Right. Well, I mean, I think so. Cannibal was created by Jennifer Young, who I'm writing this with, and Mateus Bergera is the artist, and then I'm coming in and doing the colors. So that's the art team. It's something that's been very close to Jennifer for a long time. This story, this concept of Cannibal, it takes place in Florida because she's from Florida, so she brings that authenticity to it. And the idea was, let's write a story that we can tell the story without actually having any cannibals in it, and then infuse the cannibals in it. So you're right, cannibals are not front and center, because for us it was like, what would happen if there's a small town where there's this virus that causes, sort of a cannibal pandemic where once infected, it's almost like you're addicted to drugs, and you end up sort of being overcome by this need to have human flesh. Like, what if that was a real thing? We talk about, like, Zika virus or the bath salts incident that they had a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah.
These are all things that you hear about, but like in our normal everyday lives, we don't see that stuff. We don't see it at all. It's just some soundbite. So it's so this small town of Willow, Florida, they don't really have any experience with it. It's something that some people have heard, but for them, their lives are their lives, and it's not the apocalypse. It's not Walking Dead. There's no pandemic going around because they got to get up and go to work.
Right.
So, that was, I think I'm going to get a cat across here. Hold on.
Yay, now we can put kittens in the tags. All right.
There you go.
Nice.
Now we can put cute cat in the tag, so that's great.
See? Yeah, of course. That was totally unscripted.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's about the town of Willow. It's about these townsfolk who are sort of blue collar, living their lives, and it focuses on one particular family. So that's kind of the setup for the world.
Pretty cool. I liked, there's, and without spoiling anything, obviously, there was one scene where a woman and a kid are talking, and the kid says, I'm not dumb. I know what a cannibal is. So it's something, like you said, it's in everyday life, but life still goes on. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, Jennifer pitched it to me as the anti-apocalypse story, because people are too stubborn to go, gently into that good night. So that's one really cool element about it, is like, taking a grounded story about life and then throwing this little curveball in there.
Gotcha.
That's pretty cool.
How long had she been working on it, and then when were you brought in on it?
We've been working on it together for over a year. It's a story that she's had for probably 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we've worked on some stuff. She edits Sons of the Devil.
Okay.
We worked on a short film together, the Sons of the Devil short film we worked on. She's getting her graduate degree in film production in the producer's program at UCLA. So this is just something that she had been developing for some time. And, one day we just decided to, let's make it a comic.
Very cool. Maybe you guys can hook up with who we interviewed the other night and make the film.
Who did you interview that?
We interviewed Jeff Aniston from Legion M out in California. And you heard about them. So, yeah, just a new neat vehicle for kind of crowdfunding in a way. big
Yeah.
projects like
Cat
that.
again.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
but you can't script a cat.
You can't.
So no. So I did have a question because as I was reading through in issue 2, I mean I loved the art and just the way things are laid out. And there was a particular scene in issue 2 where it was the silhouette, but it wasn't really a silhouette. It was almost like it was I don't know, like lit a different way. It was the sheriff, and it was just all black, and then just his badges and stuff were highlighted. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, Mateus is awesome.
Yeah.
Mateus worked at Boom. He did Sons of Anarchy and some other stuff, and he's really, really talented. And I don't pretend to call out those type of things. It's really up to him to interpret how he wants to lay it out. We write panels and pages, but I can say close up or wide shot. But I don't go beyond that because I'm not the artist ultimately, So I think we're just really lucky to have a guy who has those really unique and interesting sort of layout skills.
Yeah, well, and that was actually leading into my question, was how much guidance do you give in your script? Do you, and like you said, you say panels and pages. I know I've read scripts from other writers where they're very detailed in exactly how they want things laid out, and they really tell the artist how to draw.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that that's what we do. We provide a lot of visual reference. Look, we live in an age where we can find anything on the internet, right? So if I have a particular house in mind, or Jen's got some kind of swamp in mind, or a vehicle, like just let's go find it. Let's find faces and styles of clothing and things, and then just give it to the artist rather than try to describe it. Because the whole "a picture's worth 1,000 words" is so true. It's so labor intensive to try to describe something that you can just say, "Hey, like that."
That's cool. Yeah.
So I do it a lot of "Hey, like that," but beyond that, I leave it up to him. And of course, if I write a 5-panel page and he wants to add a panel or he wants to combine a panel, I do get a chance to look at it in the layout stage. So if I have an objection, which I've never had so far, I can speak up. But I'm a big believer, as writers are half the team in a comic book, so you got to give the artist the sort of respect to do what they do best, because otherwise you'd be drawing it.
Sure. That's
Right.
true. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the page layout, the panel layout, like everything, like it. I don't know. It's a great looking book, just the way it flows and everything. I really like it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so on October 7th, right? Things are going to be, you said, in previews. Coming up, the next previews. So everybody needs to run out and order it.
We got it. We got in. We're in Image Plus also. So there's a little interview
awesome.
and I think 5 preview pages in Image Plus. So I'm looking forward to that coming out. And I guess for anyone who I didn't explain to what the Cannibal virus is. You're not a zombie. You're still alive. You're sick. It's almost like HIV virus, or it's almost like a drug addiction, but it's it's sort of a blood virus. And so you're overwhelmed, and at some point you will probably not be able to control yourself, and the desire for human flesh will make you attack someone. But then as soon as you're done and satiated, then you just feel really bad about it, because you're a human being, and human beings don't normally like to eat other people. So
hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So that's one big distinction from zombies. They're not zombies. They're people like you and I. One thing I like to say is, how far would you go for somebody you love? Like, what if your son, your wife, your best friend? What if they had the virus? What would you do? Would you disown them? Would you find them people to eat? Like, what would that do to you? And what would that do to your community? So that's really what this book is about.
Yeah, that was an interesting part of the story, I thought. So, yeah, not to spoil anything. But yeah, that whole concept is I think really what brings this book out of kind of the norm anymore. The normal type of horror book, or the normal type of dramatic type story. This is definitely a different type of story. So I like that.
Yeah,
I'm glad you say that, because we're going for something different.
Yeah, I can't think of anything to compare it to. Like
Yeah.
the way this story unfolds and everything, I can't. There's nothing else out that I'm aware of that kind of goes this way, and especially like just that first issue where you're introduced to so many characters and you feel like you know the town now, you know. So that's
Yeah.
like it makes you feel like a part of the community. So you're wanting to see like how these people deal with it or where something is, you know, things like that. Like it's a great book.
Sure. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. You know, I think the only reference or connection I can make is I felt like it's kind of like the TV show Bloodlines, a little bit, because it's a small town vibe. But you know, that was the closest parallel. Like, if you put cannibals into Bloodlines, it's kind of what we got going on. Maybe with a dash of Southern Bastards, although not quite as Southern fried.
That's cool.
It's Florida, and I'm from the South, so we don't really. Florida's kind of the South, kind of isn't. Depends on where you're at.
You'd be surprised. I've driven all across Florida, and there's some really southern parts of Florida.
Yeah.
You know,
Anywhere away from a beach.
What are those flags? The
Rebel flag.
The rebel flag. I saw it. Like, I went from you know, I guess the east to the west across, and I was surprised by how many of those flags I saw.
Yeah,
so.
It's definitely the South for sure.
Yeah, a different kind of South. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, Brian, you have anything else to say about the book other than go out and buy it?
Let's see. What did you guys think of the cover? The covers. Did you see?
We didn't have a cover for number 1, but we did have the covers for the other 2. But they were awesome. I love the layout.
You can tell what it is, right?
Yeah, it looks like
Oh yeah, I got the cover number 2. Okay,
it's
number 2.
The whiskey label. It's Southern Comfort whiskey label.
Okay, that's kind of. I was gonna say it looked a little bit like that. I was just couldn't place. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going for a little. Because for those of you who haven't read the book yet, the main family owns a bar, so that's why we chose sort of a Southern Comfort style label for the covers.
That's cool. Awesome.
All right. I'm going to have to get some Southern Comfort and Dr. Pepper. Man.
Yeah.
There you go. Do it.
All right. Well, Brian, we appreciate you taking time to talk about your new book, and thanks for joining us again. And we hope to have you on again in the future.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody out there. Oh, you're welcome. Everybody out there watching, don't forget, Cannibal. Sorry. Is available in the next previews, and you can check it out in Image Plus, and then it'll be on shelves October 7th. So we'll definitely have a review of that on our show as well.
Yep. And I'll be in San Diego in Artist Alley, so if anyone wants to, swing by and chat about it and maybe see some art, come on by. I think I'm BB20, San Diego.
Okay, we have one of our folks going out there for the whole weekend, so we'll send her over.
It's a bit of a matter.
Yeah, well, and she'll be dressed up as something. She's our resident cosplayer, Jen Greeley, so we'll send her over to say hi.
Nice.
Cool. All right, well, everybody, thank you. And like, share, subscribe. Please leave us some comments if you've got questions about the book. We'll make sure they get to Brian. So thanks again. And everybody out there, go read more comics.
Yep.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.